What if I told you that one of the most ordinary coins in your pocket could be hiding a secret so rare, so unexpected, that some reports suggest it has appeared in listings for as much as $980,000? Sounds unreal, right? Almost like a myth. But what if the truth isn't about the coin itself, but about something hidden inside it? Something so small that most people never even notice it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you might never look at coins the same way again. Imagine this. You're going through your loose change, maybe after buying something small. Your fingers brush past a few coins and then stop for just a second on a simple brownish coin, a 10 yen coin. Nothing special. You've seen it countless times. It's been in your pocket, your wallet, maybe even lying around your house. But here's the twist. What if that exact coin you ignored isn't as ordinary as it looks? What if it carries a detail, a tiny imperfection that quietly turns it into something collectors have been searching for? The year is 1998, a normal year in Japan. Life was moving fast. Technology was growing. People were busy. And in the middle of all this, millions of 10 yen coins were produced, mass-produced, identical. Or at least that's what everyone believed. Because when something is made in such huge numbers, nobody expects it to be rare. Nobody stops to question it. And that's exactly why this story begins in silence. No headlines, no big announcements, just a quiet observation made by a few careful eyes. At first, it didn't seem important, just a small difference in the coin's design, something easy to dismiss. But then, more people started noticing. More coins appeared with the same unusual detail. And suddenly, it wasn't just a coincidence anymore. It was a pattern. Now, let's slow down for a second. Hold that coin in your mind. On one side, you see a beautiful structure, the famous temple design. Clean lines, balanced shape, a symbol of history and culture. It's been on the 10 yen coin for decades. Nothing new there. But here's where things start to get interesting. Not all of these temple engravings are exactly the same. Some are sharper. Some look slightly faded, and in rare cases, the details don't align perfectly with what they should be. The lines might appear thicker or thinner. The spacing might feel just a little off. So small that you could easily miss it if you weren't looking carefully. And that's the key. Nobody was looking carefully until someone did. And once you see something unusual, you can't unsee it. Now flip the coin. The number 10 stands strong, surrounded by a simple reef. Clean, familiar, almost boring. But again, look closer, not quickly. Take your time. Some coins show slight variations in how the number is struck. Others have tiny differences in the characters below. The edges might feel a bit different. The alignment might not be perfectly centered. And in very rare cases, there are subtle irregularities that shouldn't be there at all. So what does all this mean? Is it just wear and tear, or something else entirely? This is where the mystery deepens. In the world of coin collecting, even the smallest mistake can change everything. A tiny minting error, something that happened for just a moment during production, can turn an ordinary coin into something collectors chase for years. And these errors aren't always obvious. They hide in plain sight, in the smallest details, the kind of details most people overlook without a second thought. And that's exactly what makes them so valuable. Not in every case, but in certain rare situations. Because rarity isn't about how something looks at first glance, it's about how different it is once you truly examine it. Now, here's the part that really grabs attention. Some reports suggest that certain versions of the 1998 10 yen coin, especially those with unusual minting features, have appeared in listings with extremely high asking prices. Not confirmed in every case, not consistent, and definitely not guaranteed, but enough to make collectors pause and take a closer look, enough to create curiosity, enough to turn an ordinary coin into a topic of conversation. But let's be clear for a moment. This doesn't mean every 1998 10 yen coin is valuable. Most of them are still just regular coins, used in everyday life. You could have dozens of them, and they would still be completely normal. But here's the question that keeps people searching. What if one of them isn't? What if one coin, just one, carries that rare detail, that tiny difference that changes everything? And that's what makes this so fascinating. because the difference between common and rare isn't obvious. It doesn't shine brighter. It doesn't feel heavier. It doesn't announce itself. It stays hidden, waiting for someone to notice. Think about that for a second. How many coins have passed through your hands without you ever really looking at them? How many times have you assumed something was ordinary just because it looked familiar? This is what makes stories like this so powerful. They remind us that value isn't always visible. Sometimes it's hidden in the smallest details, details that only reveal themselves when you take the time to look. And that's exactly what collectors do. They look closer, they compare, they question, they search for patterns, and more importantly, for differences. Because in a world where millions of coins look the same, the one that doesn't becomes special. Now, here's another layer to this mystery. Some believe that these unusual variations in the 1998 10-yen coin may have been caused by slight changes in the minting process. Maybe the tools were slightly worn. Maybe the pressure wasn't perfectly consistent. Or maybe, just maybe, a small number of coins were struck under conditions that created unique features without anyone realizing it at the time. There's no single confirmed explanation, no official statement that explains everything. Just theories, observations, and growing curiosity. And sometimes that mystery is what makes something even more valuable, because it leaves room for discovery. It invites people to look closer, to investigate, to search for answers. And the more people search, the more stories begin to appear. Stories of coins found in old collections, stories of people discovering unusual details in coins they've had for years. Stories that start with something simple and end with something unexpected. And that's where those high-value claims come in. Again, not guaranteed, not common, but possible in certain rare situations. Enough to keep the excitement alive. Enough to make people wonder, what if I have one? So right now, imagine this. You're holding a 1998 10-yen coin. At first glance, it looks completely normal. But this time, you don't rush. You don't ignore it. You take a moment. You look closely at the temple design. You examine the lines, the spacing, the tiny details. Then you flip it. You study the number, the reef, the characters, and suddenly you start noticing things you've never noticed before. Maybe nothing unusual appears. Maybe it's just a regular coin. But the fact that you looked, that you paid attention, changes everything. Because now you know what to look for. And that knowledge is powerful. Because the next time you see a coin like this, you won't see it the same way again. You'll see possibilities. You'll see questions. You'll see potential hidden in something ordinary. And that's the real story here. Not just about money, but about awareness, about curiosity, about the idea that even the simplest objects in our daily lives can carry hidden stories, stories waiting to be discovered by those who take the time to look. So the next time you come across a 10-yen coin, especially from 1998, don't just pass it by. Don't assume it's nothing special. Because sometimes the most ordinary things hide the most extraordinary secrets. And maybe, just maybe, one of those secrets is sitting quietly in your pocket right now, waiting for you to notice. So take a closer look, and who knows what you might find. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to check your own coins and share what you discover. You never know what small detail could surprise you.